Hi, everybody. This is Joanne Eisen with Reach the Unlimited, and this is a very special day for me. And I hope that you will all enjoy it as well, because today is going to be a conversation about friendship. And I have learned a lot over the years about friendship, and these two wonderful people here have taught me quite a bit about true friendship, that's for sure. And I'd like to introduce them to you. So I feel very honored and privileged to have them here. They're very special to me. So Marsha and Marilyn, Marsha Johnson and Marilyn Fries are here with me today. And we're going to talk today about friendship. So why don't you both tell a little bit about yourself? Marilyn, let's start with you this time. Start.
Okay. Where do I begin?
How brilliant you are. How about that?
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm a business owner. I have two businesses that I operate, and also I'm studying to be a medium. I do a lot of research and get into a lot of thinking stuff. I enjoy that. And I'm busy all the time, just enjoying life.
You are one of the busiest people we know, I'm telling you. And you don't know how to stop. We know that about you too.
I'm getting there. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. Marsha, tell us about you.
Okay, so I am Marsha. I have one business I run, and which is different than plumbing than you both, which I find fascinating that we became friends and you have the same business. But anyway, so I do my court reporting and I do psychic mediumship on the side, like you guys do, and that's it. Busy as a beaver, and tired of being stuck down with COVID.
Oh, we all are. But I know that that's not it about you, but we'll get into that later. You very much underestimate your value and what you are and do. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about, especially as you mentioned, we're in COVID and been locked down forever, it seems like. And, you know, we talk a lot about what we're going through with each other. We've all been saying how tired we were until yesterday. I realized we all just needed to admit, we need to admit we are depressed. This is just a depressing thing in our life. And we're affected by it. But one of the things that was really important to me is having true relationships with people who accept you as you are and support you as you are and not tear you down. And that's what makes good friends. They're people that will tell you the truth, will be by your side, and also show you, like you guys have shown. Hi, Marianne. You've shown me a mirror of who I am, and we've done that with each other, which is valuable. And so that's what our subject today is about, what makes a good friend.
So I have to tell you, I was thinking about that today, and I was thinking the one thing that I love about you two is you tell the truth. And even if I don't want to hear the truth, you will tell the truth. And sometimes I might tell you the truth that you don't want to hear, and nobody gets offended, because we know that we're saying it in the best interest, right?
Right.
And that is the one thing, is that I just cherish that, because not everybody does that. A lot of times, I want to hear not what I want to hear, but what I need to hear. And that, I think, is the important thing.
I love how you said that, because we all have had friends that we knew that they didn't have our best interest at heart. And when they would say something, they didn't say it in a way that you knew they had our best interest at heart and really cared about us. And I loved how you put that in there, because that's how we talk to each other, is having that respect for each other. Hi, Denise. Marilyn.
I think, I was thinking exactly the same thing. But I think the difference is we have a bond between the three of us that we can't explain. And so when we speak, we know that we're genuine. When we talk to each other, we know we got the best interests. And sometimes when we talk to other people, we don't feel that bond. We don't feel that love. We don't feel that connection. So when they say the truth, we can get kind of hot-headed and and not really listen to their words and take it all as criticism. But there's just something about when you have that bond that we have, you just kind of know. So, we can be truthful with one another. And I think it's because of that bond that we have.
So it's interesting that you say that, because if you think about it, it would make people think, well, can I have something like that? Can I have a friendship that you have that strong bond? What do you think creates that?
Well, let's go back and tell a story about how we all met. Let's start there.
I'm going to say, like, which story? We have a lot of them. That's a good one to start with, though.
Because Marcia, I think you mentioned it the first, and then we all confessed that we all had the same thoughts. So, do you want to say what you did originally? What you said originally? Do you remember?
No.
No.
Remind me, and I will.
Okay. Well, this is funny because you and I said exactly the same thing, except for you described our hair color. So what it was before we joined and met, we were all looking for the same thing. We didn't want one really close friend. We wanted two really close friends. And, like in our own little way, we said our own little prayer, and we asked that, we would receive two really best friends that we could really share and get the friendship that we're getting now. And so, Marcia, you said that, and then I said, yes, I did exactly the same thing. I didn't ask for one best friend. I asked for two best friends. And you said, you even went a step farther, and you described our hair color and said, this is what I wanted. I want three best friends, and this is what they're going to look like. So I thought that was kind of funny. So I really believe that it was faith that we met.
Yeah.
I remember the first day you sat next to me, and I'll just never forget it. And it's so funny. It's like that one thing I remember and saying, like, wow. And just being able to talk to you like, I'm talking to you now. And Joanne, I remember the first time laying eyes on you. I remember the first time. And I was like, look at her. You walk in like do you remember we were signing up for the lunch and you came in at the last minute?
Mm-hmm. I was like, not going to go. I wasn't going to do it yet.
And you walked in and I was like, wow. She was like, wow, all over the place. And that was it. It's so funny when you look back now. You don't even remember.
I do agree with you. I think it is an intention. I think you have, because you go through life feeling like you're alone or that you're fighting this battle by yourself. And we're not supposed to be doing it alone. We're supposed to be doing it with a tribe, right? And so I was looking for my tribe. I even had in my, whatever I thought was my image board or my movie or whatever, I had a bunch of women that were together to be a tribe. I think there were 4 though. So we're missing one somewhere. But anyway, it was the intention. I was joking about that. It was the intention of wanting to have a true tribe, because we've talked about how through life we haven't really had that. You have your friends that kind of come and go, or they're really not there, or they can't speak the truth. That's the biggest thing, is speak the truth in love.
That's huge for me, because, I want you to say, like, does this look good on me? And don't say, yeah. Say, like, I mean, even to the little things like that, like, you should rethink that, or something better, from the little things like that. If you can trust somebody with that, you can trust them with your biggest things. That, what should I do here? And, maybe you should rethink that big thing that you're doing. Mm-hmm. And that is so important, because you just go to bed knowing, like, I know I can call you guys at any time. I need to talk, and you guys are always there, setting me straight a lot, because sometimes I go off track, and you'll be like,
You do not go off track. Not We've all had our fair shares of off track, I'll say. That's for sure.
The better phrase is, Joanne, we go down the rabbit hole.
The rabbit holes. I go down the rabbit holes, definitely. You guys have pulled me out of many rabbit holes, for sure. Especially in the beginning of Reach the Unlimited. There was a lot of rabbit holes.
Joanne, do you remember the first time you were doing it? I look back at you with such in awe, really, because you were just so nervous to do it, and you did it, and now it's like second nature to you. And do you remember how you wouldn't even
Oh
watch
my
it,
gosh.
and you wanted to pull them off, and you were like, oh, analyzing every little thing you did, and look at you.
There was a lot that I did pull off, and rightfully so.
That reminds me, back then, both Marcia and I were what you call your champions.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you would finish a call and you would, get doubtful, we would be, we were your champions. We'd build you back up. And I love that word because growing up and having your different friendships,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times those champions aren't there for you, and that's what we're talking about is who our champions really are. And sometimes our champions can say the wrong thing because for various reasons. And I'll give you an example of this. You're 18 years old and you want to travel to another state or another province, in my case. And your mother comes along and she says, wait a minute, maybe you don't want to, do that. And the reason that your mother would say that is because she doesn't want you to leave. She doesn't want you to leave under her wing and move on. So her being a champion is not the best interest for you because she has her own reason. She doesn't want you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So being a champion is a real strange thing because we have to stop and ask, is that person's interest really the best interest for me? And I think that's where our friendship comes in, because we're champions for each other because we have the best interest for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not be the best interest for ourselves, but it's the best interest for, whether Joanne, when you were doing your first, lives, it really had nothing to do with us, but we were all over the map with you. We were there and we were really championing you on. So I love that word. And it really explains those people that come and go. And like when you were saying about, Marcia, about this outfit, what do you think of it? Sometimes friends don't really want you to look better than them when they're younger. And they go, oh yeah, that's great. When it really isn't great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Marilyn, I love that word champion as well.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And I feel that way. And I feel that you guys are like that for me. Like I just know without a doubt I can go to you guys with anything, and I have with, you're the first one that I show anything that I'm doing. I'm like, what do you think of this? And you're always like, oh, it's so great. And I'm like, I don't know, but I believe you. And that's the thing. When I believe you, it's like you feel uplifted.
Mm-hmm. Well, it helps you to be able to go on because there's still, like, even in the beginning when I was doing my lives and I didn't know what the heck I was doing and it was a hot mess. But I learned as I went along, even though I was doing that and I had this drive to keep going because I knew it was important to get messages out. It's having that trust that, you may not always like I may not always like what you guys are saying, or I may not always believe you on the surface, right? Because I'm in my own head or in my rabbit hole or whatever. But what keeps you going is knowing that authentic trust is there, that authentic love and that authentic caring is there. And that's the difference between having friends that come and go, friends that like just want to go to coffee or whatever. They don't have that real deep connection to where because you guys have told me things a lot where I'm like, yeah, whatever, because I know you're telling me the truth, but I haven't come to that truth yet. But it's hearing you guys speak that truth that helps me to keep going. That's that strange thing, that strange difference. It's very odd. Does that make sense? You're all looking like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, it's perfect. It's perfect sense. I'm thinking of those. I'm trying to think, how can we help others to get what we have? That's kind of where my thinking is going, because, we have gained so much out of our relationship. So how can we share what we have, so that we can help somebody else? And I think we put ourselves out there. That's what we do. We trust one another. And I think and I always said this to my husband, because he was always so busy with work, and he was like, he didn't have the friends that I had. And I said, well, I always said to him, to have a friend, you have to be a friend.
Right.
And so to be a friend, you have to really put yourself out there, but you have to trust others too. You have to be able to say to them, and when they give you an honest answer, you got to really take that and think about it, and kind of sort it out. Are they being really truthful? Do they have my best interest? And the more people you can find that are, like authentic to you and give you the right answer and say, yes, we really do care, then you start to build that friendship. But I think we had to do that in the beginning.
Right. We definitely went through a journey of growing together, and we all were going through a big change in our life together at that time. And seriously, we didn't know each other from Adam until we went to an event, and that's where we met. And then we hung out that whole week, and then we did another event, and we hung out more, and just, it really created and cultivated this relationship. So it wasn't like this friendship just happened, but it takes that growing. But I think I would say it didn't take us long, though, to know that we had each other's back. We really did have each other's back.
We really did.
Yeah.
And I just want to go back to not necessarily us, but what Marilyn said about how can other people have that? Because you don't have that with everybody, but it takes effort.
It does.
It takes time that you need to, you have to be a friend, first of all, just exactly like Marilyn said. You have to be the friend that you want in return. And when you're like that, you get it back. It's almost like, like your thoughts, right? Marilyn, you're so good with this, right? So you wake up in the morning and you think a bad thought, and then all of a sudden that your day is horrible. You think a good thought and you attract more good thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. So you're a good friend, you're going to attract more good friends, but you have to make an effort, because so many times it's so easy. Oh, I'm tired. I don't know what to say. And it's easy to not be a good friend.
What do you think if you were to talk to somebody who really has experienced struggles with having friends that they can trust? What would you think would be some of the red flags that you would want to look at to say, is this really the person that's right for me? This is really my friend.
That's kind of there's two answers to that, Joanne, because we know that we're on a journey here. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, this is a really hard thing to say, but sometimes, we meet up with people that are not good for us. Mm-hmm. And we don't know that they're not good for us until we learn the lesson that they're there to teach us, and we're there to learn, or we're there to teach them, and they're, there to learn. Mm-hmm. So we have to remember that sometimes we're just and I don't know if it is a friendship, because sometimes we do have friendships and they turn sour, mm-hmm. but we really learn from them. Mm-hmm. So that's why when you said, friends come and go, well, sometimes we have to let friends go because they're really not good for us. And I think that's a big thing that we had to learn. And Marcia, I'm just thinking of you, because I remember, you had to let a couple people go. And Joanne, you and I have gone through this too.
Absolutely.
And it's nothing against those people.
Right. Exactly.
It's just that we're on a journey here, and we're growing and we're learning, and you still love them, you just love them and then you just let them go. It's not, and it's not that, it really has nothing against them. It just has to do with the journey. They're on the journey you're on. So,
Right.
um,
So can I just interrupt? Marianne wants to know, how long have we been friends? So I have an answer to that. I think in this life, we've probably been friends like, I don't know, is it 3 years?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And, but you know that we've had many lifetimes.
It does seem like even a lifetime now. It's like
I can't imagine not knowing you guys.
somehow we knew each other. We just didn't know we knew each other or something.
Right.
It's interesting because what you said, Marilyn, is really true. Every person that comes into our life is not good or bad. It is what it is because we're working off of each other. Like we all work off of each other to learn something. If one of us is going through something and the other two are supporting that person, they're learning in the process. Friends that we've had in the past, we've learned something from there. There was something for both sides to learn from. And that's why these ships pass in the night, because some friends we do have for life, I believe, some we don't, because they're ships in the night. We kind of pass and learn a lesson and move on. And some are meant to take you through your life because you're supporting and your soul journey is to go together. And that's what's an important difference in that.
Yeah.
So what do you think though? Because we all have friends that we've all had relationships, because really this isn't just about friends. It could be about any kind of relationship. That there's red flags or there's things that we don't pay attention to where we should be maybe moving on or saying, this is not for me. What do you think some of those are?
I don't know, because I am not good at seeing red flags.
What do you mean?
I don't know. But I don't know. I think a red flag, I don't know.
I can answer that for you, Marcia. That's funny. I love that. You're so honest.
We love everybody.
I think a really good red flag is when, and this comes back to law of attraction. If everything is going well, you're on the right track. So when things are not going well and you're feeling that negative energy, something's wrong. So I find a lot of when you're not feeling good, it goes back to your gut too. If your friend's calling you up and you start getting annoyed because this particular friend's calling me and you're not feeling good about it, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Right? And it goes their way too. If you're calling them and they're kind of turning you away or don't want to go for coffee, except for the COVID thing.
Right.
But if they don't want to go for coffee and you're like, well, what's going on? That's a red flag. So, and that's just for us to stop and say, okay, why?
I have another thing. How about a fair-weathered friend? So with friends, when things are going great, because it's easy to be with somebody when they're happy and things are great, right? But so say you're going through something and that friend is nowhere, you need somebody to talk to, and they don't have time for you. They don't, they're busy or they're wrapped up in themselves, right? So that's the thing is, when you're there, when somebody's there for you at, I guess, your most vulnerable times, is,
those you really see your friends during that time period. Carol Duncanson says hello to everybody. I'm just saying.
Hi, Carol.
Good, Marianne. And everybody's putting good comments in here. You're right. Some are here for a brief time and some are here for a lifetime, Carol. That's a good point.
That's perfect.
I love what you're saying, because what you're saying is very true, that when you feel like you're in competition with somebody, that is definitely a red flag. That's definitely a time to kind of put some distance, because we're never competing with each other. We've never felt that we're competing with each other. And the amazing thing about, I have to share this because it really shows the point. So we'll have a message going where, like, let's say I'm having a problem, and Marsha and Marilyn are like, comment. So you're getting these comments right after. And nobody's like feeling bad, like, well, what about me? Or, I should have said that, or I said that and you didn't take that. That doesn't happen. That's when you know that that person isn't really out for what is in your best and highest good. And I agree with you. I think it definitely has to do with paying attention to your body, paying attention to the way that relationship is going. Is it something that's uplifting the two of you, or do you feel drained and like downtrodden with something? Is it like really heavy and it could be that they're learning from you and you kind of put distance, or or it just, you have to evaluate how it's making you feel.
So, do you ever look at the phone and you go like, ooh, I don't want to answer that? And how about that? So I think I'm going to turn this around. I want to focus on, not I want to say, like, when I see a call from you guys or a text from you, a message from you, how do I feel? I go like, ooh, what do they have to say? Right? That makes me feel good. That's what I'm looking at. What
Right.
Instead of saying, this person, like, oh, geez, I've done the old block sometimes. And because sometimes I would get just see the message there and my heart would race and, I'd be like, oh, I can't do that. I want to look at, just like when I see you guys and say like, oh, there's some news here going on. What's happening? And it's amazing. I find it amazing. Like, look at us, right? Canada, California, and Massachusetts.
Yep.
And I feel like we've known each other forever, and we're just, it's just amazing to me. So it really doesn't matter distance, right?
No, it does not matter distance at all. No. The only problem with distance that it is so hard to get Marilyn stuff in the mail. I'm telling you right now, we have to do something about this. Are you kidding me? It's funny. You guys are really great with this. I know we all can relate to this subject. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, is because we've had a really hard year. And, we've got a little ways to go, and we've got a lot of things going on in the next couple of months as well that could be really, challenging for us all. But when we're all in like loving support for each other, and it's not about, we have this connection with each other. It's not exclusive to other people, right? Everybody can have this kind of relationship, but it does take work, like you guys said. You have to be able to participate and you have to be on board. And like, it's not like we talk all the time either. So there's those down times too, where we have that time where we're all just really busy and we're doing our own life. And then we come back, we'll have times that we'll come back together again. So it's really having that balance and that ebb and flow, I think, in life.
Can I interrupt you there, Joanne? I think one thing that we do, all three of us seem to do, is we don't bring a lot of negativity into our conversations. Even if we bring up another person that maybe we don't agree with, we kind of check ourselves too. We don't allow ourselves to go in that gossipy, negative. We might, catch ourselves, say something, but we let it go. And we try and, so even in our conversations, even though we have a close bond, we still respect, all the other people that are friends and acquaintances and, people we work with. And I like that, because we keep our integrity throughout our relationship. And that's because we're growing, we are growing, we're learning and we're supporting and we champion each other. If we're starting something new, we're there supporting one another. It doesn't matter who's doing it either. Like, here I am doing the artwork. I don't draw. I don't do anything. And you two are just like, what? We got your back. Don't even worry about it. We got your back. Right. And so what am I doing? I got all these art supplies, and it's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But it doesn't really matter. It does not really matter. Like, I trust you guys. And it's like, and I think that for those who are watching and for those who will watch, it's, if you really want that same thing, you have to keep growing yourself.
Mhm.
And we started with faith. We all put it out there and we did our own thing, whether it was a prayer or, our vision board or whatever, we put it out there. This was something that was really important to us.
Mhm.
And now we know why it was so important, because we've really grown from it. But others can have exactly the same things.
I have to agree with you, because I never had the friendship that we have. I've never experienced in my life, and it was in my late 50s that happened. So it's not like I didn't enjoy the friends that I had through my life. I did, but they like you said, they were weathered friends. They came and went. They weren't really lifelongers, I guess you can say. And that's not bad. That's not putting them down at all, because I loved all the friends that I had, and every one of them I learned something very significant from. And that's you guys know I'm going to go down that road. That is the point to why we're here. It's not really to be here and say, wow, we have this great friendship and kumbaya, and now we're great. It's
Right.
about the lessons. And, some people may go through a life and not have that kind of friendship because their life lesson is something different. And we have to be okay with what our life lesson is and where we're at. But I do agree that if you put out that intention, which I went for a long time, just wanting my tribe, who will understand me, who will hear me, not judge me, not say you're crazy by what you're saying, but listen to me and then give me feedback from the heart, not from the ego or from the mind, like what I think Kelly said about competition or being better than, or because that happens a lot in the world, right? In a lot of my friendships, it's one person had to be superior than the other. Someone had to be more worthy or financially more, you know what I mean? There was always a competition there going on. And I think that's important.
So I have another topic,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a little bit different.
Okay.
Well, what about the friends that you've had? Because you said, some you've had for your lifetime and then they're come and gone. But how about the friends you have that you may not see,
Mm-hmm.
but, 3 or 4 times a year? But
Mm-hmm.
when you call them or talk to them, it is like,
Oh,
yesterday.
yes.
That's another treasure right there, because that is like, you can just, because everybody gets busy with their lives, you're doing things, but then when you hear that voice and you just can meet up and talk, and it's like you had never left. It's like the time had not passed. That's another treasure. That's something that is just beautiful to have.
Very, very good point. Yes, because we do have friends like that. I have several friends like that. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I don't know what makes that difference. Again, I think it goes to what we're teaching each other, the
Yeah.
lessons that we're teaching each other, because we can't accept people like, there's very few people that I've known in my life that I'm not friends with now that I would reject if I was seeing them. I wouldn't necessarily reject them, or I'm not going to talk to you or whatever.
Right.
I'm not the same person that I was, so I don't know that the conversation would be the same. So that would be another part of it. But yeah, I think we all have a path. There's a reason for all that happens. Marilyn, what I'm finding out today, actually, this is a very interesting event, I'll have to say. I think you have a thing for this.
I was waiting for that.
This is like, oh my God. This is the first time, everybody, this is the first time I've had Marilyn on my show.
And
I've had Marsha on several times, but this is the first time for Marilyn. You are rocking it. You're so...
Marilyn, I didn't even realize you're like a professional.
Okay, we can get off that for a minute, because I got a story to tell.
Okay, tell a story.
We were talking about our friendship, and really our friendship it's really it's new. It's still new.
Yeah.
Even though we feel like, and we do feel like we've known each other in other lifetimes, because we just connect. And we feel connected. But I have 2 friends that I met when I was 12 years old, and I'm not going to tell my age. I met them when I was 12, so all 3 of us were 12 years old. And one, she's a day apart from me, and the other one, she's actually, no, she's a couple of years older. And she missed a grade, and she was so grateful for missing a grade because the three of us ended up in the same class, grade 6.
Uh-huh.
And we're still friends today. So we still get together. We still have, we celebrate our birthdays, or Christmas time, we usually go out to a play or something. But, that's a friendship that's carried on
Right.
since I was 12. And what you were saying about those people that you don't have to call every day.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you said that, Marsha, I instantly went back to them, because as soon as, they call, it's like, it just brings back that joy, that because we've had such long history and we've been there for one another. We really have, weddings and babies and all those things.
Yeah.
And I feel really blessed to have those two in my life. I mean, I feel blessed to have you two, but I mean, with our relationship, we share the deep stuff because we're all on similar journeys. With my other friends, it's kind of like lifetime friends. We just grew up and we played together and cried together and, seen each other through all kinds of different things. But we don't have to be there every day.
Exactly.
We don't have to be there every day. We don't feel like we have to call each other. So we have that kind of relationship. And I think, that's a good thing to do, is mention that those friendships, it doesn't mean that, you don't have to be sharing those phone calls every single day. You don't have to be there all the time. You just have to have that different bond, I guess it is. So
Sharon said you are very posed, Marilyn. She is, Sharon, very posed.
I've been on Zoom now for 3 years. We've been doing all kinds of classes, and but I'm usually sipping on my tea. I love my tea. I'm a real teetotaler.
It is not because of Zoom. You are a very posed and well-spoken young lady.
Exactly.
Unlike me, who's going to be all over the place and I'm going to be a mess, and that's okay because that's me. Marsha, what did you want to say?
Can I get a word in? What I want to say is that, Marilyn, you're a lady. That's when saying you're poised, and you're you're a lady and gentle, and I love that.
Oh, thank you.
And well-spoken. Very well-spoken. You guys talk.
Mm-hmm.
I need to read what Marianne just said. For all you that saw whoever that person was, I got rid of her. So I don't know. She was posting some weird stuff on there, so she's gone. Okay. Crazy people. Let's see. Why don't you guys share your friendship stories with us? There's several of you want to share your friendship stories with us.
One thing I want to say to Marianne is she's saying she loves that there is 3 of us, because haven't you always heard there can't be 3 in a friendship? Because somebody always is left out, or there's always something. But isn't that funny? We don't have that. We have the 3 Musketeers, right?
Yeah. That is very true. Very true. And we all do, like what Marilyn said, we all have very similar paths that we're going down. And that does help in our supporting each other and, helping each other to go through that. Because we're not, it's doing mediumship is really a very strange thing. All I can say. It's interesting. I don't want to get on this subject because it's not the subject, but I've really been thinking about talking more to people about what mediumship is really like, because I've heard a lot of people that have talked about the movie Ghost and how people have this idea that that's what mediumship is. And mediumship is not that. That is Hollywood's version of mediumship. So that's been something that's really been on my mind lately.
That's another whole show.
It was just
There's only one comment I'd like to bring up about that the other day, we talked about this, and I forget who I was talking to, but, the medium, like if you have such a big gap between mediumship and religion. Mm-hmm. And a lot of mediums, they bring this up because it bothers them.
Mhm.
But anyone that I know that's in, the circle that I know and that's in your circles is we are the most religious, spiritual people going. We are so connected with our God and our higher power. But anyone that's read the Bible, it is so full of mediumship.
It is. When I first started down this road, which I totally was staying away from, and we are getting completely off the subject, but I went back to read the Bible and I was blown away. And when I talk to people that still thump the Bible, I'm trying to say it in the nicest way as I can. They're like, you can't do that. It's like, how do you miss how much mediumship and seership and psychic work goes on in the Bible? But it was okay because you had a title. So they do make it okay because you were either a priest or whatever. So it was okay.
No, Jesus.
A special chosen one or whatever. There was reasons for it. Anyway, but the thing with that, though, is that because it doesn't bother me, what I want to do is educate people so they have a better understanding when a medium is reading what is actually happening. That's what's important for people to really understand. But that's a whole nother subject. Let's go back to friendship.
Well, that's the whole topic, Joanne.
Well, I just had a conversation about that a while ago, so it's really on my mind about that one. And since we're talking about this and mediumship.
Oh, look at now, Sharon. Her ex-husband is one of her best friends.
That's really an amazing thing.
I want to hear how that works.
Okay, tell us how that works, Sharon. How did you become best friends with your ex?
Oh, look at Carol's got another good one too. She was 12-year difference from her best buddy. Wow. That's awesome.
I'd like to know what were some of the most key things that your friend taught you over the 30 years about friendship? That would be interesting what you would think about that. So what else do you guys want to chat about friendship and the importance of friendship and how it's really important for your health and how it's really important for your mental health and how it's really important for your soul's health?
Funny that you would say that.
Okay.
Marilyn, did you want to talk?
No, go ahead.
So I believe that, you really need, I know, Carol. I know who you're talking about. So yes, you need friends because I think somebody who is detached from, say, your family, if you've got something going on in your family, you need somebody who is really unbiased, can set you straight, and it helps you feel. Doesn't it make you feel better? Like after, I know for me, after I say something, I get it off my chest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to say it to the person, but if I say it to you guys, I feel better. So it's so important, I think, to have somebody that you can totally trust. And lucky for us, we have two. That's
And we have had those times where one doesn't get back to everybody for, however long after the fact. But yes, right. We have two.
Yeah.
So I just want to bring up how we are with our family, because with our family, it's strange that we have such a different relationship with the members in our family than we do with our friends.
Yes.
So with our friends, they really listen to us. And with their family, they, like I'm thinking of it, the kids, our kids don't, we don't know nothing. We don't know anything when it comes to our children. Yet with our friends, we are so amazed when our friends tell us things like, it's like, wow, I really, that's a different way of looking at things. So we really listen to our friends. But we can say the exactly same thing to our children, and they're just like,
they don't want to hear it. Yeah.
So that's it's funny that you mentioned that, Marcia, that sometimes we have to just talk it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cool.
Although we have a different relationship with our children they don't look at us as like people.
True.
No.
Although I have to say, my daughter and I have shifted our relationship enough where we talk more like friends. And I mean, we're still mother and daughter, but it's more in that category than mother and daughter. Really, kind of, sort of, if that makes sense. Sharon said that they were forced to have a 3-hour conversation, and that's what connected them. They truly apologized to each other. That's a really beautiful story.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that story. But did you read the next comment? It's kind of funny. She doesn't let him advise her about money.
That is right. You do know what to listen to your friends for or not. I have a couple friends. It's like what they say goes right through. Just goes right through. It's not staying in the middle. I
love this. What Carol says too. She didn't trust. She never spoke for 2 years, and then when she won her trust, she couldn't stop talking. So isn't that just the truth? That you're really quiet, you kind of hold things in, but once somebody gets you and you can totally trust them, you will spill the beans about everything. And isn't that a great feeling that you can say anything and you're not going to be judged? Oh God, I love that.
That is really the key, that you're being heard, that you're being seen, and you're not being judged. Definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of, my daughter just texted me. She must have heard I was talking about her. Yeah, that's really beautiful.
That's nice, Carol.
That is, Carol. That's really nice. But trust is a big part of it. And I'm that way. When I go into a room, if I don't know people, I am not me. I'm like very reserved. I'm kind of a wallflower. I don't know if you guys remember when I first walked into our big group thing and I was like just kind of snuck in and looked at all these people like, what the hell am I doing here and why am I here? But when I get to know people, then you can't usually shut me.
Yeah.
Not about everything.
Joanne, that doesn't take very long with you.
It depends on the group. Depends on the group.
So I've really been thinking about this while you two are talking about how what we can give to those who are, because you just mentioned this about how trust.
Mm-hmm.
And people will ask us things and we will tell them and they don't listen. You know, we give them the same information that we give each other. And then it's like, well, how come they don't listen? But they're not ready to hear the truth.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's an important message for all of us because, you know, we all have different relationships too. And so when we're not willing to hear the truth from others, we're just, you know, and we'll stay in that place that we're stuck. I mean, if we're asking for help and we're not willing to hear that answer, we're going to stay there. Mm-hmm. We're not going to grow. And we all know that we're here on a journey to grow. Mm-hmm. So I think for those who are really looking for a close friendship, that's to help them grow. They got to start really listening to what the people around them are telling them because they're there for a reason.
Yeah, because we don't see the whole picture. We only see our perception of a picture. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's really important to have people to bounce things off of or to be able to give you feedback from, because we just can't, we're not objective. We're you know, we try to be, but even the best observer is going to have problems with that.
And that brings us to what all three of us have done since we've met. And we have grown, so much. Like I know with you two, I have just grown, like it's amazing. And I've grown more in the last 3 years than I've been my whole entire life. Like I've really grown and I love it. Like I am so happy. Like you were saying, when we first started, Joanne, you mentioned about us being depressed. And I'm thinking, here I am, I'm, you know, with COVID, I am busy. All this crazy stuff is going on. And that's one thing. I am not depressed. I'm tired. I am going through all those other things, but I am so happy. I really am. Like, I'm really happy. I find joy in it's this relationship, like, and that's what Marcia kept saying. Every time you look at the phone and it's you two, it's like it just picks you right up. It's like, oh my God, what's happening? And I don't want to miss this. I want to join in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a part of our human nature, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's different because, like, I don't know. I just feel it real happiness and contentment. So no, I'm not suffering with this COVID thing at all.
I would. We probably are doing the best out of all three of us.
I think so.
Yeah.
Rub some of that my way because, I have to say I'm not depressed every day, but
no, that's right. Yeah.
It's a roller coaster ride.
I think for me, it's because the holidays are coming and I really want to see my family. And I didn't go for Thanksgiving. And it was like, that's the wise thing to do. And it is right now. And it sucks. But, this is a time that everybody makes for everybody to come together. This is the time that we have our celebrations together. And so not being a part of that this year, even though I understand it, it's still hard. It still is very disappointing.
I agree. I find it very difficult. And like I said, every other day it's different. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I have nowhere to go.
But, I think there's other lessons there to learn. So here's me, I'm always the optimist.
Yep.
My cup is never half empty. It's always full.
Yes, it is.
I think I look at, being grateful for what we do have. And that even came to me earlier today. And I was like, yes, I am more grateful. And so even going through all this, I'm grateful. Like, I really am. I'm grateful because I know that I am going to appreciate, traveling and going and shopping, like without any restrictions or, like just feeling the freedom, like just that freedom, because, our freedom's been really taken away. So I'm grateful for what I do have right now, because I think when things change, I'm going to be one of those ones that will appreciate it so much more. So it's not that I'm not, seeing this with my eyes open. I think I'm looking at it more for the lessons. I really am. I feel bad for you guys because I know you suffer more down there. I really do. And that kind of breaks my heart. But I can't, I still got to kind of own myself and what I'm doing in my journey and just, appreciate. I really do. I appreciate more today than I ever have.
And I think we will, as we go through life now, appreciate more than we ever have the things and the blessings and the freedoms and all the gifts that we have, because we are very blessed every day. Even now, we're very blessed. There's a lot of people that are not, and we need to be aware of that and help them. But we are blessed, and I think it's going to change the future and how we go forward. It will for me. I will see things a lot differently from now on.
Oh, absolutely. I am Marilyn. I'm going to take that from you, and I am going to look at my half full cup because it's been hard for me, but I know I can. It's funny because when you do look at all the things that you are blessed with, you just feel so much better.
Yeah, you do.
You really do. So
it's hard. Like we always have a tendency to, I don't know why, but we're so human. We always have that tendency to go the negative. And it's really been a journey for me to change that around. And so I've done it. I mean, I've really done it. I'm proud of myself. I really am. I'm proud of myself because I've really worked hard at. I think when I realized that we do create with our words, and that's a big thing for me. When I realized that's true, and I did all the research and read all the books and really tested it out myself. When I realized that we do create our reality with our words, I changed the way I am. And so when I correct you guys and then you turn around and you correct me, which I love, I really, it really is true.
Yeah.
So if, and I've worked on it, I've been doing this for over 30 years, it's probably been like 40 years now that I've been doing this. And that if we do think our negative thoughts and we go down, we will get that negative, it will come back. So if we really look for the good and we find it.
Marilyn,
So,
I have to say, I thought my husband was talking to you the other day because I said something to him, and this is so unusual. I don't know, I was complaining about something about life stinks now, and he said to me, "What are you saying? You're just going to create it." And I said, "That's Marilyn talking."
Yeah, but it's true, Marcia. It really is true. And I think I wish more people would see what they're saying, what the words that they're saying, and the reality that they're creating.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for another day too.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a great topic, and it really is a big, long topic as well, because cause and effect is happening. Like I got up this morning, and Carol, you're right. A lot of people are using this time not only to get rid of the clutter within their homes, but the clutter within their lives and their minds as well, which is really a good point. This has definitely been a time for us to kind of like recoup and what's important for us, and where are we going to go from here? And you really do see the things that are important. Like some of the things I thought were important when COVID started are just no longer even a part of my even thinking now, which is really important. But people don't realize that it's kind of a chain reaction when you think of something or when you say something. And then like I woke up this morning and for some reason I just had this really bad feeling and I couldn't shake it. And so I had a bunch of things I had to do. I had my list, I was ready to go. And I started, going through the list and this bad feeling was there. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the bad feeling is. And I don't have an answer for it. So if I stay in this bad feeling, I'm going to have something bad happen. So how about we just change that? And whatever's going to unfold is going to unfold whether I know it or not. So let's just change the attitude. And I did. And man, it couldn't have been more than like 10, 15 minutes. And I didn't even remember about it. So I don't know what the feeling was to start with or where it came from. And it doesn't really matter. But it was a lesson to me later when I realized that nothing bad happened, for one. And for two, I didn't feel the same way because I was mindful of, if I stay here, then I'm going to bring something in. So that's a good example of how, when you have something that you're going to, a shirt that you're going to drop something on or something like that, inevitably you do.
And you do.
Same thing, right?
Exactly.
Guilty.
You're right.
Now, there's just one little thing I want to put in right now, and that is this was something I kind of taught myself a long time ago. That we have all these little moments in time. Like right now, if we just stop for just 1 second, and at every second in time, we can change. We have this little, and I just love this. So if we're like in the middle of an argument, we can stop, we can take a breath, and we can change that whole thing, that whole scene.
Yeah.
So I always go back to that. So at any given moment in time, we can just stop and we can change the outcome. So when you said what you did this morning, Joanne, I was like, that made me feel so good, because that's one thing that I've taught myself to do. Just catch yourself and say, you know what? I have a choice. I can change, and I think that's a gift that we can give ourselves, is just to stop and to say, I can change this outcome.
And that's really important, because a lot of times we don't, because of our ego, or because we don't want to be wrong, or because we think we can't. Again, that's a big one, right? Our limiting beliefs that we can't.
That's right.
And at any point, no matter what, I see this a lot with people where they're starting on a road and you could see something click in their mind, like they should not be doing this, but yet they feel like they can't not do this. You can
turn back.
Yes.
So I just got to mention something for all those watching. This is what we do. This is exactly what we do. We get into these conversations and we just go with it. That's what friendship's all about.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fun. They're fun conversations that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of you guys have left. Thank you for all being here. Do you guys have any last tidbits or last words of advice or last gifts that you want to share?
I think we did. I think we shared them all.
I think Marilyn ended it on the best statement. That's what friendship is all about.
It is. It is. But I have to end it in one more way. Sorry.
Okay. We'll let you.
Yeah, you're the boss.
Your show.
Well, it depends on what it's whatever we're doing. It depends on who the boss is then. For me, what I would like to share with people is to remember to love yourself, because when you love yourself and you understand who you are and what's important to you, then you're going to make a friend or a connection that's going to match that, and it's going to help you through that. So it really is about paying attention to your body, paying attention to your gut, paying attention to what's going on around you, and really honor and love yourself. Don't be so proud that you can't take the path that's really in right alignment for you. And that's the thing about this life that's really important, is to be humble. And something I've been working on for a long time, and I still have a long way to go, but being humble and loving yourself, that's a big problem we have in our country, in our world, is not loving yourself. Because if you loved yourself, you'd be able to love other people, and you'd be able to let other people in that are going to be able to be with you and serve you and help you and teach you as well. So as all that was said, love yourself. Just love yourself. Yeah.
I agree.
Very well said, Joanne. I agree. Ditto.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the way our conversations go.
You know, I don't think anyone lasts any more than the three of us.
No.
Yeah.
We have had amazing conversations, I have to say.
You know, and I have to say, I don't know about you guys, but when I hang up the phone or, click off our Zoom, I have a big smile on my face. Always. It just uplifts me so much.
Yeah.
Really is wonderful.
We have had a very good influence on each other, and I think that's what I really love about it, because this is our conversations have not all been cherries and fairy tales.
No, they haven't.
A lot of times we get mad at each other, like, no.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Marcia and I tend to put our feet in the sand. We're dragging as Marilyn's pulling us. No.
Yeah, I tend to be the optimist.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just put it under the category of you have harnessed your ego way better than we have so far.
Right. And you want to know something, Marilyn? I love to hear you speak, because sometimes we can talk a lot and you're very quiet, but when you speak, honest to God, I am like, what is she going to say? Because it is so important what comes out of your mouth. I am not kidding you. And I think this is the start of a Joanne and Marilyn show or something.
No, it would always be the three.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, I know. You've got important things to say, Marilyn, really.
Yeah.
And this is what's good about our friendship. I know I don't look at myself that way. And it's funny that I've had to, I remember back in college, and I remember having this discussion with my instructor, and I said, I don't want to take control out of this, whatever it was. And he was like, Marilyn, you're going to have to get used to it. You're just a natural born leader. So get used to it. And I was like, and I wanted to put my feet down and stop. Like, I'm tired of being the one. So, I can take the back seats.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I have in our business. I don't need to be the one to lead. But I don't mind stepping out either.
Yeah. And you do it well. Hi, Alan. And I do appreciate what you said, Carol, about, we all need to appreciate our differences. And that's one of the big things that we get into, is that we judge ourselves because we see, like I could look at you, Marilyn, and say, look how poised you are and how well you speak and how you deliver your message and how well that comes through to people. And you are a good leader. And a good leader isn't the one that goes out into the middle of the room and takes control of it. A leader is being able to get everybody to do what needs to be done in any way that needs to be done,
Right.
not having to be in the center. But I forgot where I was going now, so whatever. We do have to appreciate ourselves and not judge ourselves to other people. I have a big problem with that, is judging myself, especially, well, there's no especially, every part of me, I'll judge myself. It's being able to come out of that and just appreciate who we are, because we all have something to give. We all have a part of us that's going to contribute. So that's important.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. What I was going to say about Carol, appreciate our differences.
Mhm.
It's so important to know that. Can you imagine if everybody's the same?
Yeah.
What a bore fest, right? It's like to be different, and you
Yeah.
can be different and still be best friends. You
Yeah.
don't have to be exactly alike, although you are friends with people who do think like you, and there's that too. But the point is, you don't have to be. You don't have to be the same.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know that the three of us, Marcia, you and I tend to be more similar. Marilyn, you're a little different in the way that you think, but we're all still very different in the way that we think. And I think that's what makes this friendship really cool. Like you and I can tend to go into the pity party more than Marilyn's going to go in the pity party.
Marilyn doesn't even have a party. No.
I think that just goes back to what I was going to say was, what did Carol say? Appreciate our differences.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that I like to do is I do appreciate people's differences.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter who they are. I kind of sit back and I do sit back, Marcia, I am guilty. I sit back, but I like to see others. I like to see others believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who they are, like whether they're little children or teenagers or what age group they are, or even seniors. I like to sit back and I like them to become who they're meant to become.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind. I don't have to do everything everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think because I'm always thinking, and I like to analyze and study, and I like educating myself, and I'm happy. I'm really happy doing that. And I like to I like champion people. I really do.
You do. That is a part of your nature for sure. Definitely. So
I'm trying to read the comments, and it's hard to read the comments when you're.
I know. I'm reading the whole thing. We're all unique, and in that concept, we're all perfect. I
was just going to say, Carol, you need to come on here. We need to put a fourth person on here. You have good concepts going there. That's really beautiful for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. It's been an hour.
Right.
We could go on for 4 easily.
And we have, right? Oh my God, when we start talking, I know I'm like, I got to clear the schedule, get my tea. Marilyn gets her tea. Joanne, we all have to get ready to hunker down.
It can go on and on. This is what we'll do too. Say we're going to go, and then we'll just go in again and do another round or whatever.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for sharing this very important subject right now. I think it's really important to concentrate on the people around you right now, and connect with them, because it's important for us, stimulating our mind. It's our immune system. Our joy and happiness that comes from that is really important for our immune system. So really embrace your friendships with the people that you love around you, and talk with them, and don't isolate yourself right now, especially during this holiday season. And if you do need to chat or talk or anything, reach out, because we need each other right now during this holiday season.
Exactly.
Well, we need each other all the time, but especially during this holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right, everybody.
Very well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.